deal that came across my phone. Actually, it was late last night, but I picked it up this morning. It's for an 8-unit complex in Fresno. It came to me via a wholesaler. A wholesaler, just in case you don't know, is someone who's doing direct marketing to potential owners. Probably the most prevalent, if you are in real estate, is those mailers or postcards. Hey, I buy cash, I buy fast. Most recently, people are starting to cold call and text and do all kinds of things. But in this case, the wholesaler got in contact with a seller who has owned an 8-unit building. It's 2 fourplexes with a courtyard in the middle, single story, peaked roof, in Fresno, in a, I don't know, call it C plus area, stuff I own rentals in. So an area I am familiar with. But I want to run through the numbers with you. And again, I haven't seen the place. I'm actually in San Diego for a very exciting conference. So I thought I would share it with you, see what you guys think of this deal, and then maybe go see it if we like it or not. So here's the deal. So 8 units. There are 4 2-bedroom, 1 baths, and 4 1-bedroom, 1 baths. The 2-bedroom, 1 baths currently rent for $600, and the 1-bedroom, 1 baths rent for $500. So if you do math on that, the gross rent per month should be $4,400 if my math is correct. There is some laundry, but we'll just ignore that for now. Another wrinkle is 3 units are vacant. They're vacant, and they have been vacant for a while, and the seller doesn't want to turn them. Next up, the going market rent in that area is actually $800 for 2s, and call it $650 for 1s, right? So these are under rented to the tune of, what's that, $800 and $600. So they're under rented about $1,400. Okay, again, more stats. The other thing I'm being told, and I'm not being told, I saw pictures. This is the kind of standard stuff that happens when sellers rent under market, right? He's under market by 25%. I would have to spend at least $6,000 to $8,000 per unit. So let's call that 7. So 7 times 8 is $56,000. And just to round it off, I think there's $24,000 in exterior things. I think it needs a roof. I frankly think that's why he's selling it. He's like, I had enough band-aiding this roof. I think the parking area needs to be resurfaced because there's potholes that in the picture look like the Grand Canyon. And so that's about $80,000. So that's what I know so far. So they want $500,000. He's eager to sell. I need to spend, my estimates, $80,000. And again, current rents are $4,400. Where rents should be, if running at current markets, would be $5,800. But there's a wrinkle. California just passed Assembly Bill 1482, aka rent control or rent cap. And it is specifically targeting units like this: multifamily, under market rents. They don't want tenants to have rent shock. So there is a cap of 5% plus inflation, and Gavin Newsom has already signed this bill. It went into I think it was backdated to like April 1st or April 15th or something. So it's in effect. So again, while these units are under rented, you can only raise it, again, let's just do 5%. It is 5% plus inflation, but we're not going to argue about inflation today. So instead of taking $600 to $800, right, you can only take $600 to $630. You could take $500 to $525, not $750 or $650. Sorry, $650. Now, what do you think of this deal? This deal might look okay if you didn't understand that this new rent cap is in place. Right. So you could take the 3 units that are vacant and rent those for 800 and 600 or 650. I don't know which ones are vacant, whether it's ones or twos. And then you could have everybody else at what would that be? 630 or 525. This is what happens. If you're buying a building from a landlord who's owned it for a while, hasn't done any maintenance, and is way under rented, they are frankly not worth what they used to be. This property a year ago, I think might have been a deal at 460, 470, maybe. No, not 500, 460. But in today's market, I wouldn't pay anything over 350 probably, right? Because again, what am I caring about? I care about yield and expected cash flow and always doing the right thing. So I would buy the property. I would spend the full 80 grand repairing everything because it's just the right thing to do. And then my rents would be undervalued for years to come. So unfortunately, I believe this is not a deal. I believe rent control has made this property not attractive. I will not buy a value add fixer that is under market rent by 25%, which means that building probably continues to go into disrepair, continually gets roof leaks. The owner clearly doesn't want to fix anything. So this building is it's going to eventually not be habitable, or it's going to burn to the ground. That's what's going to happen. And unfortunately, this is 100% because of rent control. I can't make a positive return by spending 500 and then spending an extra 80. It doesn't make sense. It might make sense if you could collect full market rents, but given that the units are 25% under market, it's not worth it. So let me know what you think. Tell me if I'm wrong, because maybe I'm wrong all the time. So tell me if I'm wrong. Would you do this deal, knowing what you know? And again, I haven't seen it. I'm in a totally different part of California today, but I'm interested to see what you guys think. Tell me what you would do. What would you do? Would you go after it? Also, tell me what number you would offer. What number would you offer given what you know, right? The units, the size, what rent camp does to you. I'm just curious, what number would you calculate would be a fair offer? And again, don't forget you need to spend 80 grand in repairs like within the first 90 days. The building's messed up, and I feel horrible for those tenants. People shouldn't be asked to live that way. And anyways, let me know what you think. Tell me what you would do on this deal and what you would pay.